Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on three. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack.
Welcome to Ask Amy from What Fresh Hell, laughing in the face of motherhood, solving your parenting dilemmas one question at a time. This week's question is from Rachel, who says, how do I get my toddler to stop when I tell her to? I have a 2.5-year-old who is incredibly active. She can run just about anyone ragged, and for the most part it's great, but she gets very excited around other people, and it can be nerve-wracking and even sometimes dangerous. Even though we're close by, she does not understand stop when we need her to. That is, too close to water, walking up to a random dog, grabbing something she shouldn't. How do I enforce this in a way that she understands the difference between stop, you're driving us crazy, and stop because it could hurt or kill you? Great question, Rachel. Becoming a parent made me never again judge the people that you see at Disney World with like a harness and a leash on their little kids. Some kids are kind of like this. My son had a friend whose name was Chase, and I remember his weary mother saying to me once when they were in nursery school, never ever name your child Chase. I'm happy to report that kid is now 17, and I don't know if he does what his mom tells him to, but he doesn't run up to random dogs. So it'll get better, Rachel, but I have a bunch of approaches that I think are worth trying. This is something where I think you're going to have to try a couple of different approaches until you see the thing that works for your 2.5-year-old. The most simple approach, and one that you have probably already thought of, is to make sure you up her activity before you take her somewhere where she will need to behave. If she were a big dog, you'd make sure to give her a real long walk and let her run around in the field a little bit before she had to go in the car for 2 hours. So I think the same thing applies here. You got to run her a little bit and tire her out. I bet you've thought of that already. Another thing you could try is to just talk with her about it ahead of time, that you are going to a place where there's going to be lots of people around. And if we say stop and you're a first-time listener, she'll get a positive reward for that. But if you're not a first-time listener, we're going to have to take a time out on the bench and we're going to have to miss some of the party. And I hope that doesn't have to happen. And then say something to your spouse or your mom or whoever's around that your daughter can overhear. Like, I am sure that Ella is going to be a very good listener today. She's going to be a first-time listener, which means, and go on, let your daughter overhear you talking about it. Another way to approach this is to start with the 2.5-year-old and where she's at developmentally. A 2-year-old wants independence more than anything in the world. Everything's by myself. She wants to have independence. So can you make her stopping when you ask her to something that she's in charge of, that she's jazzed up about because she understands that it makes her very big and independent? The way you approach this is to talk about how, say, a little baby, their limbs are flying around, right? They kick and they don't even know they're doing that. A little baby, if you said stop to a little baby, they'd say goo goo. They wouldn't even understand what I was talking about, but not you. You are a big kid. A big kid is a good listener. A big kid knows how to make her body stop and start. then you make it a game. Then you play freeze dance. I'm not saying when you're in the situation. I'm saying do this ahead of time. Talk about stopping and starting, giving her a lot of positive feedback for how good she is at freeze dance, how good she is at listening to you the first time. Another thing you can try is a technique called progressive muscle relaxation. And again, this is also about like, oh, you're a big kid and look what you can do. Look what you're in charge of now, your own body. There's a really good storybook for this. Christina Geist, who has been a guest on our show before, she has a book called Buddy's Bedtime Battery. And it's about a little boy, in this case, who has the wigglies and has a really hard time shutting down at bedtime. So the mom and dad in the book have a game where they pretend he's a robot, and then they power down each one of his limbs, beep, power down legs, robot, and the little boy is really into it, and he gets all relaxed for bedtime. There is some version of that you could come up with that would really excite your daughter and get her focusing on being the robot that's turning off her limbs, or the ice princess that's freezing, or whatever it is that works for her, to be focusing on that. I hope that one of those things might work for you, Rachel. Let us know how it goes. Send us your questions and we might answer yours next. Email us questions@whatfreshhellpodcast.com. Thanks for listening.
Close your eyes. Listen to Monday.com. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform. So flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally breathe.